So in book two, it starts with Robin making her decision, basically not necessarily making her decision, but like her doing something that kind of causes her to make her decision. Also, at the end of book one, she has a fight with City and her crew. They are like begging her, like, Robin, we need this, we need you to help us, like, we're struggling. Dizzy has a sister that has sickle cell. Of course I have sickle cell, so I had to put it in a story somewhere. I'm Robin's character, but I didn't want to, she already had a lot of issues, so I didn't want to make her have the sickle cell too, because like, dang, kleptomaniac, you neurodi, and there's nothing wrong with being neurodivergent. So I'm not saying, because I'm actually neurodivergent, so a lot of this story is true. Like, a lot of it is true, but it's fictional at the same time. So the personality and all of that stuff is literally me. But like, the genius, am I a genius? Am I very intelligent? Yeah. Genius, depends on who you ask. I guess. But but so at the end, she has a fight with her City, who's her right hand man. Because City and Dizzy is like begging her, like, Robin, like, nobody can do what you can do. Like, yeah, being a thief is not the best thing, but the way that you do it is not the same as somebody walking into a store with a gun in their hand, because that's how her and Dizzy met. Somebody walking into the store with a gun in their hand, robbing somebody. Like, you stealing, but you not robbing people. There's a difference. You have stealing, you have burglary, you have robbery, and what else? It probably it's probably more to them. They're the same thing, but they mean different things at the same time. Burglary is you breaking into something. Robbing somebody is, you're in direct contact with the person. Stealing, you're not in direct contact with the person. You could be burglar. It depends. You could be burglarizing if you like breaking into stuff, and she does burglar. She does break into like people businesses. So yeah, she's doing some burglary, but they literally are like begging her. Dizzy is like, my sister is sick. We can't afford her medicine. She's like in pain constantly, and she can't even take the correct dosage. She has to what you call it? She has to like spread her medicine out, and she shouldn't have to do that. And so he's feeling the pressure of taking care of his mom and his sister, because his dad is not around and his brother is in the streets selling drugs. So he's like, he just getting out of DJJ. He comes home and things are still the same. So he's going through his own little struggle. City has dreams of being a rapper. She doesn't have the money to pursue that dream. So she's going through her own little struggle. Then you have Remy, who is her little brother, who just like want to be like his sister. He just wants to be wherever she is. Like, if you gonna steal, I'm down too. Like, I'm with the crew. Put me on the crew. Put me in the game, coach. Like, I'm down. Like, I'm your ride or die. Whatever you do, I want to do. So it's like that. And then Shayna ends up becoming a part of it, but she has to prove herself, because Shayna was Robin's rival. In book two, the rivalry between Robin and Shayna is dissolved. I think book one, the rivalry is alive. Like, Shayna really is coming at her hard. But in book two, the rivalry is dissolved, and then Shayna does the right thing by exposing the people who had been plotting against Robin. And I'm not going to go into detail about that. So in book two, she makes a decision at the beginning whether she's going to get her crew together or what. Now she's moving into a different space. Like, this is Robin. She's made her decision. She's confident in her decision or whatever, and she's being the light that the community needs. So book two is basically Robin uh accepting herself. This is where she accepts herself. But then of course new challenges arise. Her dad is his behavior is becoming a problem because, like I said, there are secrets that she doesn't know about. So she's trying to figure out what's going on because he won't tell her. He uh he recommends her for a job for a senator, stealing from another politician, and then expects her to share the information that she finds out, but doesn't want her to tell him. But doesn't want to tell her what's going on. Like, why do you need this information? Why are you working for politicians? You're literally an activist in the community. Like, her dad is an activist. He's an activist. Like, you go against politicians. Why are you working with them? She's confused. She's now seeing her father in a different light. She's used to seeing her dad as this hero. Like, he goes against the politicians. Yeah, he was a drug dealer, but he never sold drugs in his immediate community. Like, in his community, in the county, he never sold drugs there. He keeps the violence down. He keeps the gang activity down. He keeps the drugs out of the community. He protects the people from everybody, politicians, whoever that tries to come against them. So he is kind of like, he was the Robin Hood before Robin, but he couldn't do the stuff that Robin could do. He wasn't as smart as her. He wasn't a genius. He didn't know anything about hacking. They didn't have the technology back then when he was young. So he don't know nothing about what she got going on. So on one end, he knows that his daughter is special, but on the other end, because he's so traditional, he's so old school, it scares him. It's like, what have I done? Like, I've literally created, not a monster, but I've created this nearly perfect being that I know people are going to target my daughter if they know what she's capable of. So he's operating out of fear, which is why he won't tell her what's going on. His plans were to do that at first, but then when he really sees what Robin can do, like, of course, he walking up into the freaking senator's office. The senator is telling him he needs somebody to do something for him. He like, yeah, my daughter can do that. Like, of course, he believes his daughter can do it. But when she actually pulls it off, it scares him. Because it's like, I know you were special, but no, you're special. And I know, and I made a mistake by showing other people that you're special. So now I have to protect you. And they're like butting heads because she like, bro, you pulled me into this. Now you're acting crazy and you won't tell me what's going on. And Robin and her dad are a lot of like both stubborn. You can't change their mind about anything. So I don't care. Like, you can tell me to back off. I'm not going to. I'm going to figure out what's going on because you're doing stuff that you're like, he's like slowly falling off of his pedestal because he was looked at as like a king. Because, like I said, he was an activist. He was doing stuff that nobody else was doing in the community. He was fighting against people that nobody else would dare to fight against. And now he's acting out. Like, he's being violent toward his family. Because he's terrified. He got them into something. And like I said, there's a family secret. And he sees things happening exactly how they happened in the past. But this time, it's his daughter who's in danger. And he doesn't know how to handle it delicately. So instead of educating Robin about what's going on, telling her what's going on so she can move differently, he's pushing her away from him. And he feels like, well, he's doing it subconsciously. Like, he's not doing it on purpose. He's pushing her away from him. And then, like, at the end of the book, she ends up finding out what happened. Like, one of the secrets. Because it's layers to this. Like, their family, the Wiley family at first glance is just a typical poor black family that lives in the hood trying to survive, right? Wrong. Their family had a lot of things taken from them that Robin's dad is trying to get back. Robin finds out at the end what some of those things are, and she makes a promise that she gonna get it back. Like, I'm getting this back for my family, because y'all not. And she's the only one who really can do it because she's smart. She can do things in a way where she ain't getting caught. She not getting caught. Yeah, these people might know that I'm special, that I'm a hacker, that I can steal, but they can't beat me at my game. But her daddy is so afraid that it kind of clouds his judgment. He really is pushing his family away from him instead of toward him like he should. He making the same mistake that he did in the past, and it's causing strife not only with the family but also with him and Robin. And also in book 2, Robin and Dizzy's relationship progresses. They start dating each other. Dizzy is dealing with his perception of Robin. He sees her as this like treasure. This girl, she's so different. She's so different from the girls that I'm used to being around. Like, she's a treasure, but I'm still a little boy. I got little boy hormones. I don't want to ruin things with her, but at the same time, how am I going to maneuver through my own feelings? So he's dealing with his feelings, and also his feelings for her, and the type of relationship that he wants with her moving forward. So there's conflict there. There's the romance. That's the romance element of the book. Dizzy and Robin. Robin and Dizzy are like Romeo and Juliet. She's the Romeo in the situation, that he's, meaning she's the bad example that his mom doesn't want him around, and his mom is very hell bent on keeping him away from her, um, and stuff like that, because again, there's a secret that nobody is telling, and she's afraid that she's gonna lose her son. But at the same time, they moved back to Kane Street because Dizzy was getting in trouble when they was in, and I made Memphis because I chose like Key Glock as the person that represents Dizzy. Is it gonna stay like that? I don't know, because the real Dizzy, because these characters are people that I know in my real life. Like, the story is fictional, but it's based off of people that I actually know, and like, not their stories. None of what I write is has anything to do with their real life stories, but it's a fictional story with real characters, if that makes sense. So I really just take character profiles. So basically, people's characteristics, their personality, and stuff like that. Um, Usually when I do my books, I use only celebrities, but this one right here was a special story to me. I wanted it to highlight my culture, because I feel like in South Carolina, even though you hear about Gullah Geechee people, Gullah Geechee culture, you don't really get to like you don't really get to see it. And also, when it comes to Geechee culture, they always only focus on Charleston. So I'm kind of like shining a light on my where I'm from, um showing that there are more of us there. We're not just in Charleston. There are more of us, and like, our culture is still alive, basically. So this is my way of doing that, and at the same time learning more about our culture and stuff, because I've had to do research about certain things, and stuff like that. So yeah, Dizzy, the person that he's based off of is one of my exes. And I will say that I do exaggerate the character a lot. Like, he's the same characteristics, but it's exaggerated a lot. But his struggle is taking care of his family, basically, and then his relationship with Robin. City's struggle is becoming this rapper. She wants to be a rapper. She wants to be a star, and Robin is giving her an opportunity to be able to do that. And also, she's trying to find her place in the group, because City is like, her, she's jokey, she's not serious, she's not like Dizzy and Robin. Like I said, she keeps up with them, but she's not like them. So she is, because when they were younger, they used to be the big three. It used to be City, Dizzy, and Robin. Now that Dizzy and Robin's relationship is progressing and it's becoming more romantic, she's trying to find her place in that. And it's like, I feel left out. Like, y'all are always together alone. And, like, I feel like y'all don't care about me no more. Like, we're supposed to be friends, but every time y'all together, it feels like I'm alone, even in the room with y'all. So that's another thing she's battling with, kind of being jealous of their relationship. Not necessarily romantically. She doesn't have romantic feelings for Dizzy. She feels like she's losing her friends to each other. And she's dealing with that. She's also dealing with, starting her career as a rapper, because she's 15 years old. Most rappers start when they're that young. They used to, also, yeah, this group started off as a rap group, but they turned into a group of thieves, and they used rap as a cover. But she was the only one out of the group who stuck with it. And City is based off of my cousin, who is actually a rapper. Um, so yeah, that's what I mean when I say I use characteristics, but I don't use actual story. And it's fictional, like I said. But yeah, in book two, it's like things kind of like Robin accepting who she is, and things kind of like getting back to normal. Not necessarily normal, but they're getting back. The crew is getting back to who they were before Dizzy got locked up. They rebuilding their friendships. They're forming new friendships. They're uh facing challenges together. Um, Robin is dealing with her sexuality. She's dealing with her emotions. She's changing. Like, she's becoming a different person than she was. But at the same time, because she processes things differently, it's a struggle. So that's pretty much sums up book two. Like, it's just her accepting who she is, but also still learning who she is, and the relationships around her evolving, basically. But I can't wait for y'all to read the series. I think it's dope. And this is kind of like my magnum opus. Like, not the only one, but one of them. This is to me, because I want it to be a TV show in the future. So there's that. But yeah.